Concussions are caused by wrecking the brain inside of the skull, commonly by trauma or blow to the head. These kind of injuries are mostly common in contact sports like football, rugby, hockey. Can lead to a plethora of both short and long-term memory, while an easy concussion, a light concussion, can lead to dizziness or loss of memory. A severe concussion can lead to long-term impairment in speaking, learning, or movement.
The biggest problem when dealing with concussion is the lack of real-time detection. Currently, concussions are dealt with through self-reporting, followed up by memory and balance tests. For high-level athletes, these methods simply won't cut it, because the athlete will do anything in their power to stay on the field. The project works to solve these current problems with concussion detection by reading a real-time concussion system that fits inside player's helmet. The sensor will read the brain waves of the player through an EEG sensor and can alert medical personnel when a player is in a danger of having suffered a concussion. While this won't eliminate the concussion, but it will lessen the impact of concussion on the player's health.
Our project revolved around creating 3 sensors that can fit inside of a player's helmet. To do this, we used conductive foam and a conductive epoxy. By using the foam and the epoxy to pick up the electrical signals from a player's brain, and running wires through the helmet behind the padding, you could send those electrical signals to an EEG sensor in the helmet. The largest difficulty in the design was creating a platform for the ground sensor. While the forehead sensors could fit very easily in the front of the helmet, the ground sensor required being held against the mastoid bone, and seeing as there's no padding there, it was very hard to make sure that there was a solid connection to put the ground sensor. To work around this, we 3D printed a clip that could slide in behind the padding in the helmet and hold the sensor against the mastoid bone.
There were a few issues with the preliminary head though. The 3D printing clip had some sharp corners which made it discomfort for the players. Also, we had another problem with the forehead sensor, which was too large and intrusive. But the biggest problem was the epoxy itself. After it dries, it becomes very brittle and cracked.
To fix these problems in the first design, we made improvements and created a second design. We made the ground sensor clip much smaller and rounded the edges to help reduce the discomfort caused by the sharp edges on the original. We also made the forehead sensors a much smaller and thinner design to help alleviate some of the pressure against the forehead. And finally, due to the issues with the conductive epoxy, we completely removed it from the design. Because the foam is conductive, it will still pick up the electrical signals from the brain. Following the preliminary testing later this week, we will be making any other small adjustments needed and moving forward to implement the sensors in players' helmets.